Friends, today we are going to talk about the Kuja Dosha problems in the astrology as per the Indian Vedic astrology. Mostly the old astrologers have predicted the Kuja Dosha in the same way without considering some of the facts which becomes null and void in some of the astrology cases. So Kuja Dosha, what is Kuja Dosha for different ascendant we will be talking about today. The presence of Mars in the first, 4th, 7th, 8th house, generally the astrology is considered as Kuja Dosha. But sometimes for some horoscopes, even this place becomes null and void. So the Kuja Dosha won't be there for these people. Position of Mars, the position of the Mars from Lagna will be important to consider and estimate the evaluation of this Kuja Dosha in any horoscope as per the Vedic astrology. So let us see how the Kuja Dosha will be there for the Mars, the Aries ascendants, and we will check how the Kuja Dosha will be affected or will not be affected. So friends, Mars is the owner of Lagna and 8th house, so it's malefic, but being for Aries ascendant, it is more strong in the 8th house. So the results of Lagna will be predominant. Overall, Mars is benefic if uninflected, especially for females. Mars being in the Lagna or in the 8th house is good for Mangala Bhava. The conjunction of Sun and Jupiter with the 8th house is especially benefic for females, and so if Mars is present in the first house in the Aries, this is not considered as Kuja Dosha because Mars is in its own house. So the Kuja Dosha becomes null and void, and so it's not a Kuja Dosha here. If Mars is in the 2nd house in the Aries Lagna, this house denotes family, it's the 2nd house. The Taurus is a fixed sign. The Lord of house is Venus. So Mars aspects the 5th, 8th and 9th houses. So the aspects of the 8th house causes the death of wife or husband, as 8 denotes the longevity. So here it does not fall into any exception. So here if the Mars is placed in the 2nd house, it could be considered as a Kuja Dosha. Yeah. So the Mars in the 2nd house in the Aries ascendant, this becomes slightly more dangerous or more of Kuja Dosha because it aspects the 5th, 8th and the 9th house from its 2nd placements. So here one of the person's death is read, or this kind of predictions are made in this kind of placement. Because the 8th house, because the 8th house is the house of longevity also. So when the Mars is accepting the 8th house, the death of the any of the spouse is taken into the factor in this case. But if this 8th house is also aspected by Jupiter planet, or it is conjuncted with Jupiter closely, then this Kuja Dosha is wiped out. The Kuja Dosha becomes null and void. The 2nd house, it is also the family, or it is considered as a Kutumba. So even the Mars is placed in the 2nd house, you have to carefully evaluate the horoscope, especially when the Mars is sitting in the 2nd house itself, and it is aspecting 5th, 8th and 9th house in this particular case when the Mars is in the 2nd house, that is the Taurus for the Aries ascendants. So friends, we will move on next to 4th house. 4th house considered as important to look after in the astrology if to check there is a Kuja Dosha properly. So 4th house, if the Mars is placed in the 4th house, what if Mars is placed in the 4th house? Whether it is Kuja Dosha or not a Kuja Dosha. Let's find out. The 4th house indicates the happiness in the family. So the 4th house being the house itself, like mostly related to the family matters. So here the Kuja Dosha is affected because it is aspecting the 7th house, that is the partnership, so marriage. So here the Kuja Dosha is considered as effective if the Mars is placed in the 4th house. This placement will not lead to the death of the partner or something like that. It will just give some tensions and problems in the married life for the partners. So the Mars in the 4th house will not cause Kuja Dosha or death of the partner, because maybe slightly happiness only will be little less between the partners, but this is not considered as more effective, because the 4th house is ruled by the moon Cancer. It is the 4th house for the Aries, so there itself the Kuja Dosha is null and void or cancelled. The Kuja Dosha is cancelled in this case. So the death of the partner will not be considered in this case when the Mars is in the 4th house in an Aries ascendant. When we talk about the Kuja Dosha, friends, you have to understand that in the Vedic Astrology, Kuja Dosha means the death of any one of the partner as called as a Kuja Dosha. So we are trying to see that if the Kuja Dosha is there applicable or not. But of course, when the Mars is aspecting the 7th house, there will be some unhappiness between the partners or something like that. More than that, nothing will be there. There will not be any death of the partner or something like that. So it will be the Kuja Dosha won't be, it's not that effective. So Kuja Dosha means, what exactly means is the death of the partner between the husband and a wife or a couple. So Mars is in the house of like in the 7th house, is in the house of enemy Venus. So this aspects the Lagna and the 2nd house also. So the produces evil, but no Kuja Dosha exists, as it's the house of Venus and falls under exception also in this case. What if now Mars is in the 8th house for the Aries ascendant? Since the 8th house is Scorpio and ruled by Mars, here also no Kuja Dosha for Aries ascendant if the Mars is found in the 8th house. As the planet Mars, he himself is the lord of that house. So this Kuja Dosha is not applicable in this case. What we have to understand is Mars here is the owner of the 8th house. So here 8th house is considered to be the longevity of the partner or something like that. So for a female horoscope it is more stronger. So it will be more good for a female horoscope if you find the Mars in the 8th house, because Mangala will be very strong for her. Plus the conjunction of the Sun and Jupiter along with the Mars, if it is closely conjuncted in the 8th house in a female horoscope, this again makes a very strong chances for the marriage and Mangala Bhagyam, instead of taking it in a negative way that it is a Kuja Dosha, as some astrologers predict. Actually they just miss the counting to see that since the Mars is the owner of that Scorpio house, here the Kuja Dosha is not formed. So friends, in the now we are going for the 12th house. So Mars is in Pisces in the 12th house for the Aries ascendant, so which is Jupiter. So this exempts from the Mars forming the Kuja Dosha also. So even if the Mars is coming on the 12th house, for an Aries ascendant, this is not considered as to be the Kuja Dosha for the Aries ascendant. So also the 12th indicates bedroom pleasures, sleeping comforts, etc. So no dosha is formed here. So friends, this is my analysis of the Kuja Dosha for an Aries ascendant. Please, we are coming up for other videos also for other ascendants. Please subscribe, like and comment our channel, and we are giving the best knowledge, possible knowledge, along with our own experiences, life experiences, and our guru's studies. Thank you so much. All the best, friends.